Hey yo, what is going on, viewers of the tube? What do you know? Your boy Tyler is in the house, and I'm here to welcome you to the channel that can get you as worked up as an American watching this TikTok clip.
Hey Bobby, look, I'm American. I think I'll use my credit card. Do you guys have anything non-dairy? Anything gluten-free?
My Tesla's battery is low, and there is no charging station in sight. You know our red, white, and blue. It's time for Chico Crypto. Well, my friends, it's a nice thing to see. Pulling out Bitcoin's chart since the beginning of the year, it's been a bullish 2020 so far. BTC has consistently hit higher highs and higher lows week after week. 8.4K high hit January 8th, then a low of 7.8K by the 10th. 9.2K high hit January 18th, followed by another deflation down, but to another higher low of 8.3K by the 24th. Then, just 1 week later, on January 30th, 9.5K, another higher high, which, if after that 9.1K was another low, this is another higher low. And as of yesterday, BTC began pushing up to 9.5K resistance, and then broke this, which is oh so bullish, and as of shooting this video, was comfortably above 9.6K. Now, if you know me, I don't do technical analysis with the line drawing, RSI, triangle baloney. Because for one, I am by no means qualified to be performing this, which takes years to master in traditional markets. And we're doing it on an asset class which we don't even know if these technicals can be applied to. So I'm not trying to be mean, but these influencers suck a fat nut acting like professional traders. And you know, Chico, we call them out on their shiznit. So before this bullish movement, every single TA trader started calling for between 8.6K and 8.8K because they all copy each other. And by the way, all this content was posted just 2 days ago on the 4th. Starting with Crypto Windio. If you watched my live stream Sunday night, my bearish call is playing out. Look to 8,900 to 8,800 for now. I did not have the guts to short this move. Well, good thing, Wendy, but that tweet and your TA you posted probably made some poor soul who watches you use that damn leverage trading link you shilled below. How about a highly respected trader like Jason Canfield? Bitcoin is looking a bit scary for the bulls at the moment. The prolonged positive funding could be setting up for a pretty big long squeeze to the downside. If support breaks, it will most likely be a violent squeeze as longs cover their positions. And just the day before this bearish call, he shills his Bybit link hard. How about the tubers? Well, let's watch what they said 2 days ago.
Before we're gonna talk about a potential dump in the Bitcoin price because of 4,000 BTC that will get sold.
And the reason why I think that a breakdown could be possible is the fact that, I mean, it is very, very obvious that Bitcoin is running into major resistance right now.
We can all have our opinions on it, but you can see that Bitcoin has once again respected the bottom. Actually, we dipped a little bit lower than the level of support, but currently we are still in the blue zone. We are above the 200 daily, which is sitting at around 8.8K. And I did say yesterday, if Bitcoin was to have a pullback down to the 8.8K level, that would still be bullish in my opinion. It would just be a healthy cool off for Bitcoin overall.
Why do people listen and watch these fools? They will change their TA from bearish to bullish daily, and then at the end of their videos, recommend that people go leverage trade on things like Bybit or BitMEX.
And just in case you are interested as well, there's a video tutorial popping up by my side right now, or two video tutorials actually, one for Bybit, one for BitMEX. And if you want to support the channel, you can use my referral links down below.
Just curious what's going on with XRP. Yeah, I mean, XRP could have a nice pump, guys. I mean, yeah, let me know. Are you in on this?
That said, this is it for this video. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up. Can we push this video to 2,000 likes? That would be amazing. And if you haven't seen this video, then click right there, right now. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Please get better, influencers, and stop doing this for the money. You are wrecking noobs and turning them away from cryptocurrency. Just like I've been saying, without a single lick of TA, I'm sticking to my call of 10K being around the corner, based on the fundamentals. So, like I have been saying, the coronavirus, it's no joke. Mainstream media is trying to downplay it, saying it's no worse or deadly than the common flu. For example, US Today saying, Coronavirus is scary, but the flu is deadlier, more widespread, which is doing a mass disservice to stopping this. I know governments and agencies like WHO don't want to cause mass panic, but telling people it's no deadlier than the flu gives them the idea that it isn't. Thus, they shouldn't go to a doctor if they have symptoms. I mean, people think, I've never died from the flu, so I should be fine with a corona. Well, don't trust mainstream media, aka the king of fake news. I like to dig myself, and things are not looking good. So the real censorship isn't coming from China, it's coming from our own media and health organizations.
One-sided news stories plaguing our country.
In 1989, the Biological Weapons Anti-Terrorism Act of 1989 was created and signed into law in 1990, which also provided the groundwork for the Biological Weapons Convention. And this was drafted, researched, and authored by Dr. Francis Boyle. Well, ol' McBoyle...
We're taking you bitches hostage.
No, not the McBoyles, said this about the virus just a few days ago. It's kind of a long clip, but I recommend every second of it.
Can you tell us what's going on with this recent outbreak in Wuhan?
Right. Well, that's a lot of questions. I guess we can take them one at a time. But if you just do a very simple Google search on does China have a BSL-4 laboratory, Wuhan comes up right away. It's at the top of the list. That's all. The moment this type of thing happened, I began to do that. And so a BSL-4 is the most serious type. And basically, BSL-4 labs, we have many of them here in the United States, are used to develop offensive biological warfare weapons with DNA genetic engineering. So it does seem to me that the Wuhan BSL-4 is the source of the coronavirus, yes. And my guess is that they were researching SARS and they weaponized it further by giving it gain of function properties, which means it could be more lethal. And indeed, the latest report now is its 15% fatality rate, which is more than SARS, and 83% infection rate. So typical gain of function, it travels in the air. So it could reach out maybe 6 feet or more from someone emitting a sneeze or a cough. Likewise, this is a specially designated WHO research lab. So the WHO is in on it, and they knew full well what was going on there. Yes, it's also been reported that Chinese scientists stole coronavirus materials from the Canadian lab at Winnipeg. Winnipeg is Canada's foremost center for research, developing, testing biological warfare weapons. It's along the lines of Fort Detrick here in the United States of America. And yeah, I have 3 degrees from Harvard. Would not surprise me if something was being stolen out of Harvard to turn over to China. I read that report. I don't know what was in those vials one way or the other. But the bottom line is, my opinion is, and I drafted the U.S. domestic implementing legislation for the Biological Weapons Convention that was approved unanimously by both houses of the United States Congress, signed into law by President Bush Sr., that it appears the coronavirus that we're dealing with here is an offensive biological warfare weapon that leaked out of that Wuhan BSL-4. I'm not saying it was done deliberately, but there have been previous reports of problems with that lab and things leaking out of it. And I'm afraid that is what we are dealing with today.
So he mentions that WHO knew about that Wuhan lab, and they knew about the leak. What did WHO announce yesterday? They announced that a US $675 million will be needed for the coronavirus for a global preparedness and response plan. They are preparing for its spread, as in the article, they know smaller countries don't have the money or equipment to test for it. My biggest worry is that there are countries today who do not have the systems in place to detect people who have contracted with the virus, even if it were to emerge, said Dr. Tedros Adhanom, WHO Director General. Urgent support is needed to bolster weak health systems to detect, diagnose, and care for people with the virus, to prevent further human-to-human transmission and protect health workers. And guess who is paying for this? The United States is. According to the Global Health Policy, the US is currently the largest contributor to WHO. So yes, this is coming right out of our country's pocket. Hey Trump, what about this?
We are also revitalizing our alliances by making it very clear that all of our partners are expected to pay their fair share.
And if you understand China is the center of global supply chains, it's obvious to her our world is going to feel from this. First, it was announced that Hyundai, the Korean car maker, would be halting their factory operations in Korea because they couldn't get the parts needed from China. Let's see what economist David Lynch had to say about this.
Sticking with this Hyundai announcement, they're basically saying we can't keep making cars if we can't get these parts coming out of China. Is it your sense that this is a harbinger of what's to come?
Well, that's the worry, that this is the canary in the coal mine, because Hyundai is not alone in the auto industry or in the global industries across the board in depending upon Chinese factories for key parts. The auto industry in the U.S. it depends on Chinese suppliers for something like 15% of its components. Consumer electronics is even more dependent, up to 50% of what's needed for consumer game consoles, smartphones, laptops, computers, and the like. So if China goes offline for any appreciable length of time, that's a big problem.
Yep, it will spread past just cars, and that is already happening. From the Financial Times, coronavirus shakes center of world's tech supply chain, including Apple. And it's hilarious seeing mainstream Finance 1.0 news. Headlines like this put out yesterday. Dow Jones today, stock spike as coronavirus slows. MP microchip stir chip rally. Let's just see who is reading this rally.
Rally, rally, the originator Sally.
Yes, your picture's name is Sally, because from that article, medical stocks, with United Health leading the Dow. And you guys remember the sly old Sally Charlie Lee, who sold the top of the crypto bubble. Well, look at Finance 1.0 and Jeff Bezos, who sold $1.7 billion in Amazon stock on Monday and Tuesday. With many top traders on TradingView, even quantum economics calling for a short. So the macro and even microeconomic climates of the world are pointing to bad things, like really bad things for Finance 1.0, which will only mean Bitcoin passing 10K and going parabolic once again. And that becomes more likely day by day. Cheers. I'll see you next time.